no director gets to see another director direct. So it's kind of bullshit what I said. I can't say I'm different than other directors because I've never really seen anybody else do it except for Darnell Martin,
Mm.
my mentor. And I will say I'm a little bit like her, because yeah, it's just being present and trying to find what is the best thing we can do right now. I know what we thought we were doing, but what are we actually doing? What's the best version of that thing right now?
When you look at, because I know part of what directors and producers take pride in is seeing how people you've worked with, seeing how they blossom. So
Hmm.
when you see Trevonte Rhodes, whose career has just really expanded and blown up, how does that make you feel, given that you are a large part of why he has become what he's become?
It's the best feeling in the world. When I first went to college, I wanted to be an English teacher. I wanted to go back to Miami and be a high school English teacher. I wanted to inspire people to harness their voices the way I've been inspired to harness mine by all these teachers. Over the course of my education. Miss Rodriguez, Mr. Brown, all these good folks. Val Richards. I mean, just so many different people. And now when I make these films, especially because, Moonlight is kind of the blueprint, because that film works, now I kind of have the freedom to cast whoever the hell I want. I don't mind working with movie stars, but it just hasn't been the case so far. I think everybody I work with is a star. When movie stars one thing, I think everybody's a star. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, Trevante is one thing. That kid, Alex Hibbert, man. I mean, Jamel, this kid, we walked into a youth center and this kid walked in with his mom. You know what I'm saying? She took off work that day. She walked in with him and he sat down. And now it was like 2 months ago. I was driving down La Brea and I stopped at a red light and I looked up and this kid's face was on a billboard for the Shy. This kid's face is on a billboard in LA. It's probably on a billboard in all these cities all over the country. This kid is putting food on the table for he and his mom. He's got a career and he's not even 18 yet. I mean, shit like that just, I mean, oof. Now, it's not why I cast folks, it's not why I cast folks. I do try to work with people in a way that they can take the things that we do and apply them everywhere else they're going to go and all the other folks they're going to work with. But yeah, that's the best part of the job by far. And it's not just the actors too. I see it with the crew. You know what I'm saying? I see it with my assistants. I think that's the best thing about what I do. One of the best things, at least, because I can't lie. I do like making shit. I'm here because I want to create art.
Well, and for people who have really an eagle eye, Alex Hibbert was also in Black Panther.
And that was
I didn't
that
realize
was the
that till later.
one.
I was like, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
that was the one that hit me. And I haven't talked to Ryan about this because Ryan and I are friends. And I lived in Oakland when Ryan made Fruitvale. And I remember, he, myself, and this cat named Rashad Ernesto Green, who's also a young black director out of New York. We had dinner at this little cafe in Oakland right before Ryan was going to Sundance to premiere Fruitvale. And I just remember just thinking, man, this cat has no idea he is about to blow up. And I like to think now all us black filmmakers were kind of in dialogue. And so I think that, and Ryan was one of the first people to see Moonlight. He came to a rough cut screen and gave me some notes. And so I don't know, I thought it was a little inside baseball kind of nod, man. Just that we all out here, and we're all sharing this burden. So yeah, that was the one where I was watching that with this huge audience, and I think somebody even pointed at the screen. It's like, yo, that's the Moonlight kid. I was like, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
A good label to have. Now, a follow up on Trevante in particular, who's
Hmm.
absolutely great in the United States versus Billie
Hmm.
Holiday.
Hmm.
Um, there was a time where privately and publicly, and not that they were the only ones, but black male actors expressed a lot of reservations about playing gay characters.
Hmm.
And just for context, like Mark Wahlberg has said he doesn't want to play a gay character.
Hmm.
Do you feel because Trevante has been able to not just be in Moonlight, but United States, but like different kinds of films, that has maybe broken down some of those reservations that maybe actors had, that they would be stereotyped or whatever else they thought might come with playing a gay character if they were not gay?
I don't know about that so much. I don't know if it was about the fact that the character was gay or that the film dealt with gay or LGBT. themes. But I do feel like, there's always been this conversation about the limits of the roles that are available to actors like Trevonte. And Trevonte's got it like triple. He's black, he's swole, and he's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So he's got it triple. And people want him to only be the action dude. Or people only want him to be the dumb jock. And I think that the fact that in this role he got to showcase so much range, so much nuance, so much subtlety, and this idea of subtlety and nuance of things that are denied to black men, to black folks. I mean, especially black women as well, both in life and in art. I think the fact that he got to showcase those things that they all did in the show, and they've all gone on to now, they're not pigeonholed. They're doing all kinds of work. All three of those cats. I'm talking of Trevonte, Ashton, and Alex. And then on the other side, Jerome went off and did When They See Us, and won an Emmy. I see you got one behind you over there. You and him are brothers and sisters in Emmyhood. I think the fact that they all stepped into these roles and were able to showcase both the humanities of the characters, but also the humanities of themselves as human beings, and ipso facto, the range they are capable of. I mean, yeah, it's like, again, I grew up playing sports, so I always like to say, I always talk in sports analogies. I consider myself a coach on the set, but it's like, put on the tape, put on the tape. What can Trevonte Rhodes do? Put on a damn tape, And I think a lot of these cats weren't afraid of what it was going to require of them to put on the tape. And it sucks, man, because there were some other actors that we considered for these parts, and they just wouldn't consider it, for the same reasons you mentioned of Mr. Wahlberg. But hey, all's well that ends well. All's well that ends well.
Well, as part of since you like sports analogies for a good reason, given your football background, and trust me, I have some sports questions for you.
Hey, hit me.
some football questions for you because I know how much you're into it. But you look at successful coaches and they're judged not just by the offense or defense they create or the success they have, but about the coaching tree that they have as well, right? So you look at Tony Dungy's. So many coaches came from Tony Dungy's coaching tree, and Bill Walsh. That's been one of my little slight criticisms of Bill Belichick. Is like his coaching tree is not as good.
No, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
it seemed like one after the other, man. Ooh.
Yeah, it's like a little dicey. It seems like Nick Saban was clearly his best prodigy, if you will. Can't speak for some of the others, but nevertheless, you've now directed. You have 3 actors who've been nominated for Academy Awards. 2 of them have actually won. And I'm thinking about Regina King and her performance and obviously in Beale Street. And just for her, what these last 5 years were like, I joked with her when I had her as a guest that, it's so nice that the white people discovered you. And we have known you. we literally grew up with you. Like, you're going to always be Brenda, right? The black people knew. But seeing her expand her career as a director, as someone obviously who is, does the same thing. When you work with Regina as an actor, could you sense the kind of director that she would be? She had directed things by the time she had done Beale Street, but seeing the success that One Night in Miami has become, and just how that has become her lane, how does that make you feel as somebody who works so closely with her?
No, it makes me feel good, man. And Regina she's very smooth and she's very sly. And so I in the back of my head, I was like, why is this lady not leaving set? She's not working right now. And I realized she was observing.
She was peeping game.
Yeah, she was peeping game. And you're right. She had directed a few episodes of some of the things that she had been in before, so she wasn't new. And also, I think that actors, they understand what's going on. I think they're acquiring so much knowledge while they're working. I think a good director also is acquiring knowledge from them, as you're working as well. So I knew that she was, I knew that she wanted to do it. I could sense that she was ready. And it felt like the process of us working together, it was a director-actor relationship for sure. But I also could tell, because the way I work, it's a little bit, it's not like the way everybody works. And I could tell her kind of sometimes just doing this here. But you know what though? The thing I remember most about her, she was just so game. You know, that scene, I don't know, we're not talking about Beale Street in this interview so much, but that scene when she gets to Puerto Rico and she's putting the wig on and off in the mirror, you know, I didn't tell her we were going to do that. We kind of just like got there and I felt it. I was like, hey, so actually, I want you to just do this. It's going to be one shot and you just go do it right to camera. I'm like, what? So yeah, the camera's in the mirror. Can you do that? She's like, yeah, whatever you want. And I could tell she was like, why am I doing this? But not in this very questioning way, but as a director, because at that point we had filmed, it was a 35-day shoot. It was like day 32. We had most of the film together. And I think in her mind, she's like, how does this fit? Because aesthetically it's so different than anything else I've had to do. And so I could see that sort of like that mental, that puzzle work happening. And I realized, oh shit, this lady is transitioning. You know, she's going to the other side of the camera very soon. And she did, you know, and we kept in touch while she was filming it, especially through post. And yeah, I tried to, you know, give her some feedback wherever I could. But yeah, Miss King has a director wings.
You just said as you were explaining that and giving such a thoughtful answer about how you're a little bit different in how you work and how you approach things than most directors. How so?
I think I'm just, you know, I don't have, I think that a director doesn't actually do anything. You kind of don't really do anything. You know, it's like, you know, Nick Saban, he probably runs at 8.540. You know, he doesn't do anything, you know, but he puts all these people in a position to do what they do. And I kind of feel the same way. I also feel like, you know, I don't know exactly what has to happen in any given take. You know, I want everybody to bring themselves and let's find it together. So I'm not a dictator on set. And what I'm trying to do is create this opening where everybody can contribute, where everybody can be free, everybody can really access themselves. And then they trust me enough to understand how I'm going to utilize that self. Case in point, Regina King. Regina been in the business for a while. It's heavy to put a camera that close to anyone's face for that long. You know, this is a beauty industry, you know, and there's certain things you do to be like, okay, this is who I am, but this is what I need you to see. You know, oh, can we get makeup in? Can we get all this stuff? Regina was like, okay, cool, let's do it. And we just did it. And the energy of doing it in that moment was so crucial to the authenticity, the truthfulness of the moment. I'm trying to build a set where all those things are possible. I think because of that, it can't be that my voice is the only voice that's heard, you know, that my name is the only name anybody knows. You know, I need to be able to talk to the props dude the same way I talk to the first person on the cast list, same way I talk to the DP, and then I need to be able to talk to me as well. And so it's a very free ranging kind of thing. And I think the biggest thing too is I'm just trying to be in the present moment, Jemele. I'm just trying to be in the present moment, you know. The idea of doing this so it turns out this way so we get that statue 8 months from now, that's not on the docket, you know. What's happening right now in this moment, and if I see it and I want to pivot towards it, everybody got to pivot, you know. But we're going to create an environment where we all know we're pivoting together. So I mean, but again, no director gets to see another director direct. So it's kind of bullshit what I said. I can't say I'm different than other directors because I've never really seen anybody else do it except for Darnell Martin, my mentor. And I will say I'm a little bit like her, you know, because yeah, it's just being present and trying to find what is the best thing we can do right now. I know what we thought we were doing, but what are we actually doing? What's the best version of that thing right now?
You're right. Maybe you should have been a football coach because that sounds very, very football coach like to
You know,
some degree. I
it's
mean,
so
though, granted, they're
crazy.
less collaborative, as you know.
They can be, but then
Yeah.
they also can be, you know,
Mm.
collaborative. You know, you got to earn the right to collaborate. You know, is what my coaches would have coaches did say to me. But yeah, I can't help it, man. I think it's a good way of bringing people together, though. You know, football is a very violent sport. But man, there are very few things that bring a very disparate group of individuals together like a football team. Very few things.